Hello, what's up, people? On the 13th of February, which is on Valentine's Day Eve, right? We went to see this movie, Simple Manusan. Yeah, that's how you say it. And this is the back of the ticket. Looks quaint, doesn't it?
It is very nostalgic,
Yeah,
just
also,
like the 90s.
maybe earlier than that, I'm not sure. I
I
mean,
mean, I can't talk about earlier than that because I was from the 90s and I did
and we
saw
did.
some tickets like that, like a bus ticket
Yeah, I
in the
guess so. I
90s that looks
guess
like that.
it's like that. So this is the second film by the directing duo of Haran and Shobaan. Previously, they directed Metro Maalai, which is a very, like, in comparison to the tone of this movie, Simple Manusian, it was very serious and even more somber. And this movie is actually the first ever distribution deal by Kumar Pictures, in which that they only distribute it, have nothing to do with the making at all.
So, as the name implies, the main character is a simple man
Yes.
and
In his 30s.
32 to be exact.
Yes.
Just like the time now. Wow.
Oh,
It's like it's
nice.
mocking me.
He's 32.
Yeah, with that, I can kind of relate with the character. Some aspects of it. The other aspect I don't really. Like for example, he's an entrepreneur. He owns his own barbershop.
Yeah.
So this is not one of those movies that talk about like an ugly guy. Nobody wants him. He's a loser and he's 32
No, he's
and
just a
he wants to
yeah.
get married.
Yeah.
It is talking about an average looking man with an average income of 1,500 per month.
Mm.
With a diploma and owns his own.
In hairdressing, yeah,
Yeah,
specifically because so he really wants to do this. He wants to be a barber. So
yeah, and not the movie doesn't focus on what he wants to be a barber.
it's about
The
his what
movie
he wants to have in his life more.
no no
Okay.
no you can say that, but what I'm saying is like he is what he is, but he really wants to get married. Which is nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Right? The point is in this day and age, for whatever reason, people like him aren't selling like hotcakes.
Mm.
So he is struggling with trying to find a suitor for himself. And I like the Indian stuff, especially in the motherland, right? In India itself. This movie is set up in Malaysia, and unlike the typical kind of story that you keep hearing about, this does not involve any form of contract marriage or any form of like forced marriage or anything like
Oh
that.
yes, nothing.
If anything, the main character himself really wants to get married. And the father wants that too for him. But at the same time, he wants, a grandson, grandkids.
Yeah, yeah. So
So,
this is one of the many conflicts that this guy has to face, right? To find a suitor that can bear him a child so that his father is happy.
uh,
Yeah.
but at the same time, he's not doing it for his father. He really wants to find the happiness for himself. That's why I think like a little bit refreshing about this movie, right? Because the main character really wants it for himself.
Yeah.
And it's not letting his father get in the way, where at the same time he does want to
Somewhat respect his father's wishes.
yeah. And also refreshing the family members. So there's just three members.
Yeah, my and also yeah, you can talk
There's the
about
main
first.
character,
Yes.
his sister, right?
My favorite character.
Who herself have what do you call it thing accepted the fact that she will never be married. Is she older than him? She's older than him, right?
Yeah, she's the big sister.
She's going 40 or something like that.
I'm
The
not sure,
character
but she is depicted as the big
seems
sister.
like it. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe just like us, maybe 2 years older, 4 years older, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And the dynamic, I like it. And then there's the father. And the father, if anything else, he's just a alcoholic.
Yeah.
At least he drink himself to a stupor because he is very conflicted and
Yes.
very angry at the world, to the point that he kind of say it has something to do with like what in Malay we call it nazar or whatever, right? He prays to a god, and it's like, if you give me this, if you give me this for my son to get married and bear grandchildren for me, I'm gonna make him do that. You know. So because of the specific stuff, he kind of feels like, the part of it is his belief, and part of it is just superstition. It feels like, oh, because my son didn't do this, right?
And he hit his head or something like that. Then
No, no, no.
that is why it's like this.
Because in my son, oh yeah, when he was a kid, right?
Yes, yes.
Like he was born with some kind of deformity, and the father said, like, if you let get him to survive, right, I will make him roll over for you. So because he didn't do that, he didn't fulfill
Yeah.
the his part of the bargain to the god that he prays to at the time. He kind of feel like, oh, that's why my son hasn't got lucky with finding
A
a
suitor.
person for himself. Um, and your favorite character, you want to talk about the sister again?
Oh yeah, the sister is one of those like when I look at her sister, it's like I'm watching my brother. Because she feels like so dumb this way. Like she's, you know what? Okay, this was gonna end anyway. So what's the point of finding with Sutu anyway? It's not gonna work out. It's all fleeting, right? So I like how like the sister is very, I don't want to say aloof, but is very very in touch with reality, and she's not getting ahead of herself. And even though they're like she's like polar opposites kind of with her brother, but she supports him no matter what still. Yeah.
And then the thing is, even though the father is conflicted because neither of the children getting married or getting him like to, what do you call it, continue on his legacy, right? He is a very loving father. He's doing everything he can. And in fact, the movie started with him apparently in the middle of one of those missions to find someone for the main character. But then the main character realized that, you can't help me. And what's interesting is that the whole movie is just we see him at the point where he already did, with the help of his father, try to find a bunch of suitors and kept failing. This is at the point where the movie really starts. For the most part of the movie is him finding love himself.
Yeah.
And the movie, what I like about Super Manusian is that it ended up exploring every single aspect of marriage, love, companionship.
And even class system in a way.
Yeah.
The class, the different
I
class.
like movies like this
Social
when
class.
it's not like it's totally everything is totally answered, but what I do like is about everything being explored, because that's the point of making a film, right? If you're gonna introduce an idea, you want to explore that idea. And sometimes some stuff, like for example Shogun, it explores stuff, but it leaves a little bit too much for the audience that love to indulge in things. But
Yeah.
Superman, no, it indulges, even though the movie kind of self-censor itself, but it does contain the parts of love and whatever it is you want to call
Last.
it. And
Probably.
even though I like that part, what holds it back to me is how it borrows a little bit too much from the cinemas of the world. It kind of feels like uh
Yeah, so maybe
Hollywood flick at times. Uh,
Hong Kong new wave style, even the before trilogy, starring Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke, because it involves a lot of talking and not so much character development of like people going here and there and conflict like this movie does. So we at least has some sort of like banter, chemistry between characters, and this
uh,
essentially makes it a comedy drama, or what you call it?
uh, yeah. I wouldn't call it comedy drama, because I was like watching another movie that I kind of like found some kind of like
Okay.
equivalency to this. I would call that melodramedy.
Oh
But
yeah, you talking about that movie, that melodramedy, there,
what was it? What
the
was
Wayne Bediman movie, right?
yeah? What was that
I
movie?
forgot what's it called right now. Maybe I put the posters I think on screen.
Right.
Yeah.
But what makes this movie remind me of that movie and vice versa is that this movie is focusing on the drama, but the comedy comes with the overcomplication of simple
Oh,
things.
yes,
The
yes,
movie
yes,
is
yes.
called Simple Manusian, right? Which means a simple human. But the mental gymnastics that the main character goes through is what gets in his way a bit, right?
Mm.
But this is the part where I can relate with him, you know. because we all want the 3-in-1. You know, kind of what I mean by that is it could be more than blah 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 number insert number here in one. All I'm saying is that because commonly premix drinks is a 3-in-1, and I'm not comparing
What?
a human
Two, three
to
in one
to to to
drinks.
3-in-1 premix
Premix.
drinks. I'm just saying that everyone wants the complete package. No,
So yeah,
and
yeah.
that might differ for you, right? Like, oh, can is this person pious? Is this person kind? Is can this person cook? Can this person be this and that? Or do they love what I love? Do they pursue what I pursue? Right? We all want that, but life is also about compromise and knowing a lot of people. Unless if like recently you have like a neighbor who married an Egyptian, and
Congrats,
I can
bro.
never what do you call it, imagine someone from Malaysia to ever do that, especially when he doesn't really stay there for that long. So love can come from anywhere, and who knows, maybe that's not even love, maybe that's just a marriage, and maybe they will find love later after the marriage.
Yeah, and this movie explores that very well. There's something that happened, and he was like, "Is this really what I want?"
Yeah,
There's at the crossroads there.
and he uses very, what do you call it? Okay. What I say is this movie is really, really easy to understand, right?
Mm.
Uh,
It's
for
quite straightforward, yeah.
for people who watches a lot of movies, and I'm not trying to be condescending here at all, because there are kind of like people who still not understand, do not understand the imagery that involves, especially like one the main character is meditating,
Or they
all
have a recurring
shaved,
dream.
all shaved,
Recurring dream,
and
yeah.
then there's like a symbol of an eye there, which is like simply what he's eyeing in the middle of the bamboo forest. Things like that, to me, is easy to understand, but straight up in the audience towards the end when they get the chance to ask, right?
At the Q&A,
And
yeah.
at the Q&A, they ask what essentially I understood. So to me, everyone that is of age, especially because like not that this movie again it says censor, so there's no like explicit stuff that is that kids can watch, but it's just that the ideas they explore is mature, that if you're too young you wouldn't understand and can relate to it anyways, and there will be nothing for you because it's not direct comedy if there is comedy in there.
Oh, what this
So I
is
think this is a good movie, right,
yeah, yeah.
for your common folk that wants to get to into more movies to watch this. And yeah, in this sense, if the fact that it feels like it borrows from Hong Kong with the low FPS stuff here and there, from Hollywood, even sometimes from UK drama, works in its favor. Because if you want to get exposed to more of this kind of the light version of it, you can watch this movie. Whereas as a movie on its own, the fact that it borrows doesn't work in its favor because it reminds us
Yeah.
of the other stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I found the term for this movie, and I think it matches because I'm thinking of the term comedy of errors for this movie, and based on the on the definition, it says a situation made amusing by bungling and incompetence. Yeah, something like that happens in this movie because of like misunderstanding, and people are like bickering over complications and things. I think this can consider a comedy of
I
errors.
think the word that everyone have a hard time practicing secrecy, and for the most part, when you unveil stuff, certain people, it make things less complicated, but at the same time, not telling them, being in secrecy, that's the word, make you feel that you're in the righteous side of things, because telling them will hurt them, when in reality the opposite is true. So the movie is very
Easy.
to follow because we just feel as the character sees. It's not really something that you have to think about for a long time. So it's a fun watch. But I gotta say, it's not that deep. It is as simple as the title, and I'm glad it didn't go for the over edited route. Like they have to show, "Oh, look at
Oh,
all the techniques that we can do." They didn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
It
It's
does. Is
very
yeah, it does heavily inspired by like you said, all those cinemas of the world, right? But they don't go as to like only borrow all the pretentious stuff and just put it as a visual stuff. Is mostly, yeah, like you said, they're telling a story and they're editing it like concisely. It doesn't feel like it's a pretentious movie. Simply put, I hope. Yeah.
and the thing is, the movie is one of those like you start seeing the cinematography and everything, the fact that it captures the different locations as it is, including the trash,
Yeah, yeah.
including the people in the background. And yeah, yeah, and that scene, that expressive scene, I'm gonna break the illusion for you. Immediately, it's just a member of the crew actually getting married. That's how they get the footage inside a wedding.
Yeah,
So yeah, I break the mystery for you immediately.
this reminds me of my friend's short film where there is a similar thing that happened, and how you wonder how they shoot it with limited budget, and that's the answer.
Yeah, you just do it for free and just get permission from your friend when they get married.
Yes, yes,
And
or someone you
I don't
know.
think it's a bad
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
I think that is good. Just use every opportunity, every cable that you can to get all the footage that you can, and be respectful about it. Ask for
Yes.
permission and everything like that. And it works in his favor. They captured the isolation that he feels
Oh yes.
inside a wedding. As a person who really wants to be married myself, right? The feeling is very, very much so unique in a sense. Because another thing, okay, the part where I can relate with him is there's an entrepreneur, right? He's the boss of himself. I can relate to that part, right? And what I can relate to is the 32 years of isolation,
Mm.
because it's kind of like you are sad that it went that long. What I mean by it went, what went, the years. Because the character straight up never had a relationship in his life,
Oh,
right?
I mean, okay,
So
okay. Yeah, that part I can feel so much because not even once.
yeah,
On the opposite
yeah,
side,
yeah,
me
yeah,
and
yeah. But at the same time, it's not like he regrets that,
yeah, yeah.
but more so, it's like if I have been like this long, I might as well learn like from the books and the anecdotes from my friends and from the internet, from wherever, right? About the errors they've gone through, the heartbreaks they go through, and not have to deal with that, and just to go to straight finding the one. That is I think, the meat and potatoes of it all. It's not like he is afraid of making an error, of finding the wrong person, right? And then get his heart broken. It's just that because it's been so long, you might as well not start. If people go through heartbreaks and everything, they're my guinea pigs. They have tested it out for me. They're the one that have made the wrong moves. I'm just gonna learn from them and not make those moves and just find the one, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right?
He's also my guinea pig because I went through something like him navigating.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I
Like
was first hand there. I drove him there with my bike.
yeah, very dude, I've done some stuff, right? I've written poetries, make gifts, cook gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried everything, and I'm at the point of my life right now because I am not financially situated enough.
Huh.
But at the same time, I'm so sure of myself. I don't care about like this acne stuff anymore. My body type, I don't really care about that. And at the same time, kind of feels like the reason why I'm not looking for anyone right now, right? Because even though I want to find love and get married, right? I know right now, as I am not capable of, you know, giving happiness to another person. I want someone to share my struggles, my hopes and dreams with me, but at the same time, I don't know if I can provide the equity that they need. Like for example, this is a simple thing that I think a lot of people misunderstand, right? Okay, I don't care what in-laws think, when you marry to a person, you marry to their entire family, right? I don't care about them. In fact, i- if I have my way, I will just do a simple small wedding in a small hall, right? But then spend a whole ton of money
Or the
on my
honeymoon.
honeymoon, right? It's for us. I don't care, like, because people are gonna bad mouth you at the end of the day anyways, right? I have people in my life that complains about how even down the line, even after 30 years, right? Not that long, at 20, I give it 20, right? Their family still badmouth them about the wedding day. So to me, try to please these idiots, these old baby boomers, it's not worth it. The Gen X's, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So no, not that I have people like that to please anymore, right? Because I got something scarred off from my life, but that's a little bit too personal. I
Mm.
always share a lot, yeah, I know, but
Yeah,
I have my
including Ellis
limits.
View right now.
Yeah, but I have my limits, right? But that's why I like about movies, right? If it makes you think, this movie makes me think. But I put it in the same category as The Fault in Our Stars, in the sense that even though it touches home, the feelings that I'm feeling is mostly personal and has nothing to do with
With
the
the
movie
Mary
itself.
of the movie,
Like
yeah.
I cried in Fault in Our Stars, and you know why.
I know why.
But the audience themselves, I can feel they're like, why is this guy crying? The scene is not that sad, but it is for me because of something that happened in my life at the time, right? So yeah, sometimes, yeah, you don't get to have the most prestigious movie watch, but you get an experience out of it, and this is a pleasant one, I guess, because to me, being in touch with your emotions, no matter what emotion that is pleasant because it reminds you that you're
Human.
and
Mm.
this movie is very human. The conflicts feel very realistic. There's a lot of people giving second chances, and go on, and it all even explore our biggest fear. You know, the biggest fear of anyone alive right now, right?
Which one? I'm having a blank, drawing a blank here. What do you mean by that?
Okay, there are things, right? Like for
Uh
example, your family member giving you like a video from Gary V, for example. That's where
Oh.
you know you hit rock bottom. So rock bottom is the keyword, right? And I have
Okay.
members in my family who is involved in this kind of thing.
Yeah, I know, I know.
So yeah, this movie explores everything. I love that. But you say something before about how these two directors have a problem with finishing story. They have like they ended it, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
there's more.
No, no,
What?
no. It's more like a thematic. They already have like a thematic ending, but somehow they like to like, what if we push a little bit further and see if that's the ending that we want? And then when they got to that the other ending, they decided to be like, you know what? Let's leave it up to these people. Which one do you think is the ending? I mean, this is not exactly the same, but the if it's like a choose your own ending thing, like for example, when I saw the Wailing, you haven't seen it yet, but if it's like there is an ending, but then they will give it like an alternate ending in the movie itself, and you can even call it it's either a choose your own adventure or you can just say thematically where do you want the story to go, and sometimes it's to the detriment of this kind of movies, but I think for this movie that thematic alternate endings, I think it works. It depends on how you where you want the movie to end. It could I mean in real life it could be like wasting your time because this end the movie already. But for this kind of movie, it's basically a slice of life movie. So in life, there's always other ways to go. So I'm not as mad with them pushing it, but still I saw if they want to do this, at least do it more compellingly. But I guess this is not as bad, like, as egregious as Metro Malai. Is there something similar to this? That it's a problem, but not really a problem. Maybe this is the style. I'm not sure yet because this is only the second movie. The directors Haran and Shobaan, but yeah, let's see if they can keep going and people can accept this style by them.
Yeah. I think. I like how because everybody story is in support of the main character, the family,
Yes,
the
yes.
friends. They drink together in terms of like sadness and exploration. And this movie even touches on other social commentaries as well, which because they censor themselves, I don't want to uncensor it for them. You can figure out on your own because unfortunately, Malaysians, if you say things out loud and directly, they will get offended. But if you just sneak that in a movie and not say it, you're not gonna understand it anyway. It's just like watching our videos. It's like, oh, they speak in English, so let's not listen to them anyways.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever it is. Um, I just enjoy the characters and the way they go about things. This movie is pretty what do you call it thing? Um, it has some quote unquote action in it. What I mean by that is no,
It's not
it's
boring.
not like people just talking. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
people
yeah. It
running,
was just an
people
improvement over the
putting
first
putting
movie.
on necklaces on other people.
Ah,
There's like you can see some barber shop action. You can see people swinging on the swing set.
people, go about their lives
Yeah,
in detail in this movie.
so
So
it feels very real, very human, and pedestrian in the best way possible. I think you should check out this movie. I enjoy a lot. I give it a 7.4 out of 10.
I give this movie a 7 out of 10.
So there you go. Our review for Simple Manusian.
Yeah.
I hope you catch this one. I'm gonna say this, like I told my friend. I didn't tell my friend fully like this, but this is what I truly mean. If you want to watch a movie, you have the time, go watch this. But you don't need to go out of your way from KL to Kuantan just to watch this.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You can watch it. If it's a peripheral and you have the means and you're like, I want to give this a chance, go give it a chance.
Yeah,
If you don't want to, you don't have
if
to.
there's a local movie to support, this is one of them.
Yep.
This is one of them that really tried. I think it does pick the landing. It's just that in the grand scheme of things, I've seen better things. Like the movie we saw just now, September 5. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know when we're gonna review that movie, but just so you know this exists, watch it and he joins me watching that just to promote it a little bit. So this part of size slice of pie where I catch 54 movies, at least one movie per week. This is has nothing to do with the other movies that the new movies coming out right now, or the other programs or anything like that. It's just that personally in my own time I want to catch 54 important movies, and I watch a bunch now. The first one was Salo, then Sound of Music, then I did touch on Godfather, including Coda. Coda can't save Godfather Part 3 is still bad. And then we watched like what?
Hellraiser
Hellraiser,
duology.
Hellraiser
The
Duology.
first two movies, yeah.
For the Godfather and Hellraiser, for example, right? I decide to watch all of the franchise in one week, within one week, instead of like one movie per week, because that will waste my time, right? That I already don't have, especially when wrestling season is back.
Oh no, thank you and F you Netflix.
Yeah. And then I watched Ikiru the other day. And now it's September 5. Oh, Anora. Yeah, I
Anora.
watched Anora in week 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a ride. I'm gonna keep continue on. You're gonna see probably very soon. I don't know. This guy does
I'll
his
try
thing.
keep up. Yeah.
I will it will be uploaded a short about movies like September 7, right?
Level
September 5,
5.
right? But at the same time, there are movies that I want to talk more about. Like for example, the movie Ikiru in mind, and then I want to explain why I love Godfather Part 1 way more than 2. I don't really care about 2 actually, and then I really hate 3. I want to elaborate more on that, and it has nothing to do with whether or not the movie is good. Like I said, Godfather 3 is shit, but it has something to do more with if I have something more to say about it. So if September 5 comes off as like, oh, this is 3 minutes, that's not much, so it's gonna be on a blurb thing, right? But hopefully, I don't want to put time constraints on myself, so I will get to that point where I will review it. It will come out when it comes out, but it won't be anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you forgot, Simple Manusian, I give it 7.4 out of 10, and you give it
A
A 7
7
out
out
of
of
10.
10.
Go watch it, man.
In cinemas 20th of February, if you're in Malaysia, go watch it by then. And support if you want to. We're not forcing you to. Yeah. Peace out.